Hello, I'm Dr. Cherie Carter-Scott. And in 1974, I was sitting with a colleague and we were talking about our coach training that we were designing. In the process of discussion, she said to me, it would be so great if we had some kind of guidelines to hold on to. Something about the process of being human. Now, we weren't talking about commandments. We were talking about guidelines for living a healthy and productive life. And without thinking, these simple universal truths came forth through me onto the paper. And I'm going to share them with you right now. You may be familiar with them already through If Life is a Game, These Are the Rules, or you may have seen them on one of hundreds of websites that has quoted them over the last 20, 30 years. The very first rule of the Rules for Being Human is, you will receive a body. You may like it or hate it, but it will be yours for the duration of your time here. The relationship with the body is the only permanent relationship that we have on this earth plane that lasts from birth to death. Rule number 2 is you will be presented with lessons. You may like those lessons or you may hate them, but they're your lessons in your lifetime. For example, you know you have the lesson of patience if you're always behind slow people and slow drivers. Rule number 3 is there are no mistakes, only lessons. Now, if you've been raised in a way to be perfect, then being anything less than perfect will bring forth a negaholic tendency where you will tend to find fault with yourself for not living up to your expectations. Rule number 4 is a lesson is repeated until learned. Now you know if you're a number 4 because you keep repeating the same old lessons over and over again expecting different results. It's kind of like stepping on that proverbial rake in life and having it hit you in the face and then saying, well, that was a rake, and then stepping on that rake again and having it hit you again in the face. So in order to get beyond rule number 4, you have to discover that doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results is not necessarily going to produce the outcome that you want. Rule number 5 is lessons never end. Now, some of us anticipate that in this great school of life, we're going to have summer vacation, we're going to have graduation. Sometime those lessons are going to end, and we hope that that's going to happen, but then it doesn't, and those lessons never seem to end. Rule number 6 is there is no better than here. Now, in English, when you get to there, the T comes off, and it becomes here magically. So getting to there doesn't necessarily mean that everything's going to be peachy and everything's going to turn out. It just means that there is a new here, which will have a whole new set of challenges and opportunities. Rule number 7 is others are only mirrors of you. When you look at another person, you may admire them. You may appreciate them. You may want to emulate them. That means that that person is reflecting back those attributes and qualities in yourself that you can see in that other person and that you appreciate. When you see something in another person that you judge, that you find fault with, that you criticize, it's because what you're noticing in that other person are those parts of yourself that you haven't yet embraced, that you haven't included, that you may have disowned. So the mirrors will take you to a deeper level of appreciation and ownership for your own attributes. Rule number 8 is what you make of your life is up to you. Now this may seem obvious, but there are a lot of us who argue for our limitations. And we'll say, yeah, but you don't understand. You don't know my situation. You don't know how tough it's been for me. Arguing for your limitations doesn't necessarily get you the results that you want. But when you look and see that the outcome of your life and those results is totally up to you, there's a shift that happens. Rule number 9 is all your answers lie inside of you. Now, to find those answers, you have to be able to reflect, to listen, to trust, and to embrace what you hear and what you discover. Rule number 10 is you will forget all of this at birth. You see, remembering and forgetting are the dance of consciousness. If you remembered everything all the time, there really wouldn't be any challenge. And if you forgot it all, there wouldn't be any game at all. So it's that interesting balance between remembering who you are and why you're here, and those moments of temporary amnesia that make the game of life interesting. If you want to know more about the rules for being human, pick up a copy of If Life is a Game, These Are the Rules, and you yourself can explore those rules and those lessons that are all about being human. Thank you.